faith.
It was a season to remember. Cinderella went to the party.
Let's go dancing, baby! Cleveland State is going to the disco for the first time since 1986.
And Cleveland won a championship. The Cleveland State University basketball team followed the vision of their leader, Gary Waters, from the first game in Madrid, Spain, to their last in Miami, Florida. Their journey led them to a place in history.
Number 13 out of the Horizon League.
It was a season of basketball no one could have predicted, except a coach with a goal.
I told them three things. We're going to win the Horizon League championship. We're going to the NCAA. And the third thing, I put something in there academically. We're going to have a certain GPA average. So all those things were just a challenge to them.
Destiny was written by Coach Waters years before. He planned the future by setting goals and sharing them with his team.
Guys, you know what got us.
Coach brought it to us and had the checklist of everything. Like, did we do this? Yes. Did we do this? Yes. And then, it was just amazing, like what he came up with and what he did to accomplish that.
Coach Waters had belief and a vision in his program, and had a higher source of power. And it was just magical to see it all come together, because it was like, okay, that's the big picture.
I think Gary's one of the finest basketball coaches in the country, and I think what makes him a great basketball coach is because of his communication and because of his foundation spiritually.
To Gary Waters, success requires faith.
It's at the center of this team, and they put it first. And I think they're starting to put it first in their lives. There's something bigger than they are. And they're starting to understand that if they have faith in what they do and they believe in a higher source, they have a chance to be successful.
To me, faith means is just believing in what's been put in front of you and to submit to the program, the system in which the coach gives you.
He teaches us about life, and we apply life to basketball.
He not only teaches you the X and O's, but he teaches you how to be a man and get better through life.
Go get him right now. Go get him right now. Don't wait on him. Don't wait on him.
He has faith in himself and in God, and taking that out, that he could go and he could fight and beat anybody.
He recruits and brings in players who's going to buy into that. And, when everybody buys in, nothing but good things can happen.
Together, Gary Waters and his team fought adversity and injuries to piece together a team of legacy. The Cleveland State basketball team of 2008-2009 will be remembered not just for the games they won, but how they played. On the chalkboard was their mantra.
We got to focus on the things that we do. Don't worry about what the opposition is doing. Don't worry about what they're trying to do against us. Just do what we do.
We do what we do means that we stick to what our program is, what our scheme is, what our role is, and we don't step outside of that.
Do what we do every day in practice. What we practice every day is go and execute to the best of our abilities.
Doing whatever we need to do, that's the norm for us to do to win games.
Whatever we emphasize for that game, that's what everyone's focus needs to be on, doing what you need to do.
We got to do what we do and make sure that we know in our minds that that is our identity.
There's a certain thing that got us here, and just always stick to that.
When we do what we do, we win games.
This is the story of a team of players who went from obscurity to the national spotlight. They had a mission. They had a goal.
It seems that we have completed a task.
They had faith in themselves.
Amen. Amen.
They did what they do best.
He missed it. Rebound loose. Game over. Vikings have won. Dancing. Let's go dancing, baby.
In another country far away, the roots of teamwork were planted. The Cleveland State University basketball team took a trip to Spain to learn about the world and to learn about each other.
Gotcha.
we wanted to take a foreign trip because we want to take these young men on a trip to bond them together, to develop some camaraderie, to have them understand other cultures so they could be enriched from this experience, because they had gone through a lot, and I wanted them to experience something very special.
We went to Madrid, Valencia, and Barcelona.
Spain trip was amazing. It brought us together as a team.
A good building block for us, chemistry.
Coach said we could travel in threes just to be on the safe side. For the most part, the whole team was together.
We got to sightsee, see very historical places. We got to see some very interesting things, and it brought us together as a unit.
They got bonding. They got an understanding of where they are and where they came from. And they also got a better understanding of to understand that you need to enjoy where you are and enjoy the things that you have. And all these things I thought fit in quite well for their learning experience for that year to create the end product.
I think we came together as a team and built a lot of team unity.
I actually felt like a real family. We had each other back.
We all experienced everything together. We sat and had dinner together, hung out.
We had to bond together and stick together to get through what we needed to get through.
But it wasn't just about bonding. The team experienced a new style of play in a strange environment.
Those guys over there, they were playing for something, and they wanted to make sure that we didn't come in there and just take anything from them.
I think we had a rude awakening when we first got there. The first pro team was pretty good. They beat us pretty bad.
We got a real down to earth that first game, but we bounced back and got tough.
Whenever we got in any tough games or adversity, a year ago, you could have gotten a little finger pointing, a little hesitation, doubting, those type of things. But when we played this year, this is the one thing I give this team a lot of credit for. Even when we got at times when we were down, they never hesitated to say we're going to come back, we're going to fight back, and we're going to do what is necessary.
The Spanish teams taught the Vikings a lesson. Their defense would be their strongest weapon.
They're really crafty with the ball and drew fouls a lot, so we had to play with our feet, and so that's what really helped us to defend how we defend, because we had to play with our feet instead of our hands.
We came back from that trip a better team and a hungrier team, and just really ready to get after it. And I think it was a good way to lead into this season and help prepare us for some of the things that we faced throughout the year.
Just that bond just got stronger and stronger, but I don't think any of us realized it until we got back to the States.
I think it really helped us and the way we handled bigger schools this year.
Those were the kind of things that they could bring back and they can draw from, and they drew from those type of experiences.
Back in Cleveland, the season started with a win at home against Oakland, and then they lost the next two games against the University of Washington and Kansas State.
Even though we lost those games, I think it showed us in our minds that we are capable of playing with anybody, and that we don't need to be afraid of anybody, because we know we work hard enough and we got the talent level to compete with them.
After 3 straight wins, they faced their arch rival Butler for the first time of the season.
Howard for the tie. We're even at 44 apiece.
It was a learning experience and one they wouldn't forget.
When you have a team down and you're leading in the last minutes of a game, you got to finish it out.
It was a tough lesson to learn.
Hahn for the win. He got it. He stuck it at the buzzer for the Butler win.
I had a miscue, and then I put my teammate in a bad situation. That's why he was able to hit that 3 to tie the game up.
To know that it takes just one mess up or a slip up, no matter what time, and you could lose the whole game off of that.
I was supposed to guard the guy who hit the shot. I think I went for an up fake, gave him a clean look.
This game is over, ladies and gentlemen.
It was the worst feeling in the world.
I've heard that last second shots hurt the worst, and I think it's true, especially being a team a game that you should have won.
We were right there to beating them, and that shot at the end, it crushed guys.
I said that would never happen to me again. My man would never score a game-winning basket on me again. That's how I took it.
3 games later, the Vikings walked into the Carrier Dome to face the nationally ranked Syracuse Orange. They were looking for a spark to ignite the season.
we have an old saying with our team this year: if we shoot over 40%, we're gonna beat anybody. If we're not shooting the ball well, we can struggle against anyone.
Syracuse struggled controlling Janathan as he scored a team-high 18 points. The Vikings defense kept it close, but the Orange fought back.
30-something seconds ago, we had a 6-point lead. Or actually had a 5-point lead. So all we had to do was complete what we had to complete, and we win the game. And we just didn't, again, one of those games where teams come back on you.
Tie game with 2.2 seconds to go, no timeouts.
It seemed as if the Vikings were going to lose the game, but the team never lost hope.
We always said that God was with us that day because, we had the lead. There was a lot of lead changes in that game. And, plus they are a Goliath team too. Playing in their dome, they really don't lose there.
Just the way Coach presented it to us, he said that something amazing was going to happen that day.
Inbound Jackson, half-court shot at the buzzer. He got it! He got it! Jackson at the buzzer! He got it! The Vikings win!
I was just going to try to just throw it near the hoop.
That was an amazing experience, just subject hitting that shot.
Up until that point, that was the most exciting basketball moment of my life.
I think that game let us know that we can compete with just about anybody in the country. Their size, speed, talent, all that doesn't matter if we do what we do.
It was a big win. We went into that game with confidence. So I think after that, it gave us that much more confidence than other games he was going into.
Everyone remembers the last shot, and that excited the whole nation, which I thought was great because I thought it helped our basketball program and Cleveland State. It let people identify what we were all about.
It just felt good to know that if you believe something can happen, it happens.
The Vikings win! The Vikings win! The Vikings have won the game!
You have to believe in what we're doing, and you really, the patience is the key, because it's just such a long journey, and it's a difficult journey, and you've got to have a little luck on your side as well.
The last-second Syracuse win had the Vikings thinking luck was on their side. The team rattled off 3 straight wins, beating their opponents by 25-plus points per game on the way to creating a 10-4 record.
During that whole run, and not only that run, but throughout the season, when certain people weren't stepping up, was consistent and constant, and that was Norris Cole.
Emerging as a team leader, sophomore guard Norris Cole began to put his mark on the Vikings.
62, Norris Cole races the other way and lays it in with the right hand.
We were starting to get a better team chemistry going. I think we was getting in the flow of things. I think things were going the way we wanted them to go. Winning obviously 5 in a row.
Just as team chemistry was creating wins, the catalyst of the team's offense, DeAndre Brown, began to feel some pain in his ribs.
I actually think I fractured the rib maybe a week or maybe 2 before that, and I was battling through it.
The pain of the rib fracture became too much for DeAndre.
I don't even remember getting hit or falling or anything, and I just felt a sharp pain, and it was too much to take, and that was it.
When we lost him, we lost a part of our identity.
It was a big loss. He was a starter from last year. Last 11 games we started.
DeAndre was a big part of the things that we do. When you lose a big part of your team, especially of your defense, when you're a defensive team, it can be tough to replace that.
He was, in my estimation, the glue to us because he played hard. He got every loose ball. He got every loose rebound. He was that Rodman, if you think about it, in the NBA for us. And without him, we're a different team.
For 9 games, DeAndre sat on the sidelines as the Vikings learned to play without him. In the process, team leaders began to emerge.
Well, the one that carried us during that whole load was Norris Cole. He was having fabulous games down that stretch, hitting shots, doing things that normally wasn't happening. And then I thought at the Milwaukee, Wisconsin game, I thought Cedric Jackson started coming back to life.
I don't think any of us got discouraged. We said this season's going to be full of ups and downs. And, the strongest will survive. And then we fought through it, and things started happening for us after that.
The team realized in order to win, they all needed to contribute.
During that time, I think, guys like myself and George and Renard, some of the other seniors realized that we needed to step up, and do more on the court, in practice, and just pushing ourselves, pushing each other, and just trying to help our team continue to get better.
Coach Wells did a great job just making everybody look into each other and be like, okay, what do we need to do to make up for DeAndre?
I think we all got smarter, I'll say. Knowing that we lost a player, everyone has to be smarter about the fouls they make, what they do on the court, because you don't have that player to come in and back you up, or you don't have them to start in the beginning. So I think we were kind of limited on players and what we can do, and I think we adjusted well.
We didn't feel sorry for ourselves. We just knew we had to, keep making adjustments. If one adjustment game, it didn't work that game, we had to figure out another adjustment. We just had to figure ourselves out. And I think once we did that, we were fine.
During the stretch without DeAndre, the Vikings had 5 wins and 4 losses. On February 5th, DeAndre returned to play against the University of Illinois Chicago.
Coming back, it felt great. I don't think Coach expected to play me as much as he did that game. I don't know, my head was lost just for not being in so long, but it just felt good to finally get back out there.
Really done well. And it felt good to the rest of the team as well.
That's just typical DeAndre Brown. He gets himself into it, makes something happen. You just can't say enough about the impact that he's had in these last 2 games.
We kept working, we kept fighting, kept making adjustments, and then Dre came back, and then we had a peak. We started playing great, we started winning games, and it was getting us ready towards our tournament run.
Victories against UIC.
Game over! Cleveland State wins!
Loyola.
Zeros on the scoreboard, game over. Cleveland State, a winner.
Green Bay.
2 seconds, 1 3-pointer up, no good, game over.
And Youngstown State.
7 seconds, dribbles in, one-handed shot, missed it. Rebound, Tandy tapped it to Brown, up the steps, and he's gone. Nobody will catch him. To the basket, scores it at the buzzer. Game over. Vikings win.
Proved the Vikings were back on track.
We went to 8-game win streak. I thought championship. I said, now we're back.
The Vikings traveled to Kansas to play Wichita State before a hostile crowd and lost.
I thought it was the greatest game for us because we had to go in that environment because it wouldn't have prepared us for Butler.
The stage was set for a rematch with the Vikings' nemesis. After a win at Valparaiso, the team faced Butler with confidence.
I like to go into every game focused on that game and just playing every game like it's your last.
The last regular season game seemed like the perfect time to avenge the heartbreaking loss they suffered the first time they played Butler. However,
we made some mistakes, missed box outs here and there, and we missed some free throws, some key plays, key layups, and it allowed them to hang around, and then they ended up getting an offensive rebound and score, take the lead, and we couldn't score at the end.
Right. A win and they do it. He misses. There's the one-arm heave, and it comes up way short.
We lost that at last second shot at the end there at their place. I felt again we lost a game that we were in control, that we didn't control it in the last seconds. So we still hadn't learned that lesson yet.
The team didn't give up hope and looked toward the Horizon League tournament for payback.
We all knew that if we gave him a third time, we wasn't going to let the opportunity spread 3 times.
And no one on the team was afraid to face them again.
God don't work in doubt or in fear. So Coach let us know that. He said you can't have no doubt. If you had doubt, don't dress. If you had doubt, and he was talking to coaches, he was talking to anybody that was affiliated in that locker room. If you have doubt, you can't be a part of this because they don't work in fear. God don't work in fear.
The Horizon League tournament began with the hope that DeAndre Brown could play a key part in winning a championship, but he never finished the first game.
I tried to shoot and fell down. And I remember getting up and, as soon as I turned around and the guy was right there and he just landed dead, all his weight on my knee. And I remember just screaming. The trainer came over, but he said, "Am I gonna lay here or are you gonna get up?" And I wanted to lay there. I knew it was bad, but, I just got up and tried to look strong for the team.
Without DeAndre, the team went back to the lessons learned earlier in the season.
Our guys put their heads together and said, hey, we're the most physical team in this league. We're going to go back at them. And Nathan put his strength out there, and I thought we just took over the game.
Don't forget what got us here. We got to do what we do. That's, again, that statement, that thing, and that's to do our defense. If our offense don't come around, don't worry about it. Just do defense, because good things happen when you play defense.
Baxton Jackson double teamed on the block, trying to throw it out. Jackson stole it. Jackson
And good things did happen.
And they just, boom, they, with that resiliency, fought back. And before you know it, by the end of the game, it was their game.
The Vikings beat Detroit.
Final score, Cleveland State 56, Detroit 43.
Then beat the UIC Flames for the third time of the season.
Game over! Vikings have come back to win it tonight. They're into the semifinal tomorrow.
Then they face Green Bay in the semifinals.
Missed it, and George Tanner rose above everybody else. It comes to Fletcher, full court shot at the buzzer, wide left. Game over. Cleveland State wins.
To create the rematch everyone was hoping for. And the one game Coach Waters thought was more than just a game. It was a moment to teach young men about the power of belief. He embarked his wisdom with a little saying.
And the little saying this time was a biblical one that came on the walls of Jericho.
Like the walls of Jericho story, keep doing what you're supposed to do.
There was a guy had a horn, he blew the horn, and everybody yelled. I had them do that.
He created a path to represent walking around the Jericho.
He got us up before the game and had us march around the locker room and yelling. And
some of us was laughing. Some of us, like myself, took that so serious. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is probably one of the best experiences I'll ever have. Just being like, just everybody being into it,
We walked 7 times around the room. We screamed at the wall loud enough so hopefully they could hear us upstairs in the gym.
The people upstairs said, what's going on down there? What's going on in this place?
We defeated that wall, and it came down later that night when that game was over.
The walls came tumbling down.
The Vikings were focused, and they were ready for a fight. During the game, the players reminded each other of the 2 losses against their rival.
We said, remember, that hurt us last time. Make sure we box out. Remember, we lost in the last 5 minutes. Make sure you focus on our assignments. And we did that throughout the whole game so that we wouldn't slip up and make sure that we could beat them this time.
And what I told them in the locker room is that we've let this team off the hook twice. Both games we should have won. We can't let them off the hook anymore. And we got to take care of them this game. And they understood that.
We knew what we had to do. We really wanted this championship. We claimed championship the day we lost the championship last year. So we were chanting championship, championship, championship.
You try not to think about winning a championship. You try not to, because there's still so many things going on, and at that point, the slightest mistake can cost your team a championship, can cost you an NCAA bid. And for me, I just really tried to go out there and just play hard and do whatever it took for my team to be able to win.
Finish the game. That's what I was thinking. Finish the game. Make shots, execute on offense, and make sure that they do not score. They can't win if they don't score.
Like deja vu, the game was beginning to feel like the previous 2 losses.
And we all knew that if we give him the third time, we wasn't going to let the opportunity separate 3 times.
Hayward, he got the ball, he shot it. And I was like, oh my gosh, please don't let this happen again, because the last 2 times we lost by 2. Then we missed it, and then Van Zant, he got the ball. And then we were praying, like, when is this horn going to sound?
It's finally coming true. It's finally coming together.
4 seconds, shoots the 3, he missed it, rebound loose, out of bounds, game over, Vikings have won!
As soon as it sounded, we ran straight to our bench, and then we just rejoiced, and that was the best moment ever, because we've been through so much, and we felt like we deserved this win.
I raised my hands to the air to give him the glory, because it wasn't me. It was literally him going through this.
I can't even describe that feeling. It's something I wish everybody could experience. It's a moment I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
I've never felt nothing like it. I waited 5 years for this, to win any kind of championship in college. And to get it on a big stage, especially in my hometown, in front of all my family and friends, it felt real good.
That means more than anything to me, myself, because I was here when we didn't win, and nobody even recognized you. So it's just to put some life back and some pride back into Cleveland State means a lot.
I think we live under that same curse that all the other sports teams in Cleveland live under when you start talking about the ability to have success. And I've never believed that. I've never believed that there's a curse on Cleveland sports teams. I've never believed that we couldn't achieve here. I think they see now that it could be a reality. And so I'm really proud, again, for our student athletes that they've proven those people wrong.